All right, I'm gonna take a fat swig of cherry Pepsi. Let's go. Or cherry Coke.
Hey, hi, how are you? Welcome back to the ADHD podcast. That was my co host, Nicholas. I'm
Hey, how's
Kyle.
it going?
All right, we're leaving that in.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, um, today on this episode, episode 2 of the ADHD podcast, we want to talk about Stadia, Steam, and Epic Games, and just kind of the future of games on the PC. Me and Kyle are both PC gamers primarily. I'm pretty sure we both owned consoles. My most recent one was the PS4, but I'm mainly on PC. Kyle, you?
Yeah, well, I feel like most everyone starts on console. Because that's where all the games were for kids, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Steam hasn't really. When I was growing up, Steam wasn't super big. Uh,
No,
so,
not at
like,
all.
everyone was on either Xbox with Halo or PlayStation with, like, Jack and Daxter or I don't know. I don't know PlayStation. That's the only
Uncharted.
PlayStation title. Oh yeah, Uncharted.
Uncharted was a good one.
Yeah,
But
but I feel like a lot of
where's
people also started on like the Wii.
yeah, the Wii was where I Wii and PS2.
Yeah, but no, I feel like you get to a certain age and then you start migrating over to PC Nation. You know, when you're old enough
Yeah,
to actually understand how a computer works and not start downloading viruses instead of your Minecraft mod packs. Not
people
talking from
understand how
experience there.
computers work. Anyways,
Already
um
off topic.
uh so for anyone who is not really aware what Stadia is a service. You pay them a monthly fee. I believe it's about $10, and you pretty much stream games from them. They have a bunch of PCs set up so that they always have every game up to date and stuff like that, so that you can just stream and play regardless of if your computer itself fits the specs of the game needed. Like, let's say I have a Chromebook and I want to play Cyberpunk. As long as I have a good internet connection, I can theoretically play it if I use Stadia. Um, what's your opinion on this kind of service, Kyle?
Yeah, I think Stadia could be a cool idea. There was a program or service before Stadia, I think. Maybe it was about the same time. I remember it was about 4 years ago it came out. It was like Liquid Force or something. Liquid Liquid
Oh,
something.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it was the same kind of idea. You pay a subscription and you're streaming the game from some dude's like hypercomputer in a warehouse. So as long as you have a good internet connection, you can play any game regardless of what computer you have. But the cool thing was they actually had it also set up for mobile too, which I believe Stadia also has that feature.
I I believe so, or at least they were looking at it. I
They
don't
were
know if
talking
it's
about it. Um,
implemented yet.
yeah, but I think that'd be super cool to be able to play games like Cyberpunk, Hitman, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds, F1, to be able to play those on either mobile or just like your school
Like
laptop
tablets.
or something or a tablet. Yeah, like I think that's a super cool idea.
I think it's definitely interesting because it definitely opens the door to gaming to a lot of people who didn't really have access to it before because, like if a game only is for Windows, like they don't have a Linux or they don't have a
Mac
Apple,
OS.
like a Mac OS, thank you, version of it, that it's just impossible unless they have a Hackintosh or I don't know if there's an equivalent of that for Linux. Um, you know,
I'm sure if you're running Linux, you probably can build your own
well, yeah,
program to like hack around it. Like the people that
I,
use the people that use
Linux
Linux
are
are
big
pretty
brain.
good with computers. Like, yeah, they're big brain. But another thing that it does that it helps people that don't have the money or the funds to just build a computer good enough for some of these. Because like I
Yeah,
know for the longest time I was playing off a laptop and I mean it was good for most stuff, but Minecraft, that super high intensive rendering game that you all know. It was pretty rough on the laptop, not gonna lie. And for those people that they can't afford to build a $17,000 monstrosity of a PC, like this is just another alternative for them. So
Well, that's also interesting because it's great for people who maybe don't know if this is something they like, you
true, true,
know?
true.
Like, let's say uh you're someone who never really gamed, but someone you start dating is really into gaming, and you don't know if you'll like it. You don't want to drop like 2,000 bucks to go and buy a whole ass PC, because you might not have that money, or you might have it and you might not want to drop it on something you might not like. $10 a month, a month is enough time to determine whether or not you like it. So
Hmm.
I think that's a pretty good trade-off.
Oh, you know what? This just reminded me of the whole idea of kind of renting a game before like you're sure if you like it or not.
Yep,
Do you
yep.
remember the commercials of GameFly as a kid?
Gamefly, the one where you get it
GameFly,
in the mail.
yeah, the one where you pay a subscription and they literally ship you the disc and you get
Dude,
to
it was
play
like
it.
3 games a month for 7.99. I
I don't
Something
remember,
like that. I remember seeing those all the time. Gamefly, and it's like
dude.
the super excited mom pulling the disc out of
Oh
the
yeah,
mail and giving it to the kids.
I remember as a kid, sitting there watching Nickelodeon, some SpongeBob, and then in the middle you get the GameFly ads, and I'm like, oh man, that would be pretty sick. But like, then you also have to wait for it to come in the mail. This is Stadia is just
Which
that, but you don't have to wait, and
also
you
you
can
don't
play it.
have to have the console.
Yeah, you can play it on any console, any system.
Now, one thing I don't know about Stadia is a game like Minecraft where you have to like have an account in addition to like purchasing the game. How would something like Stadia handle Minecraft? Like, would they make you give your account? Like, you would have to like sign up for an account, and then they would have the copy of the game.
I'm not
Because
sure.
obviously, if it's one big shared account on Stadia or many shared accounts, you run the risk of someone. Let's say they go on Hypixel and they're a dickhead and they get banned, and you're using Stadia and you are like, oh, I don't have Minecraft, I want to go play that,
Oh,
and
so
the
you're
account,
thinking it's one account for the entirety of Stadia. Only one
or like
person.
a collection of shared accounts. Do you think it's something like that? Do you think they just don't have those games where you
I
have to have?
I suspect they probably just won't have those games. Uh, just because that's a lot harder to manage, and personally, I don't
Hmm.
know how they would manage that. Um,
Yeah, because the shared account runs into the issue of if someone gets banned, that entire account, you can't really give that to another player other than the player who got that account banned.
but another problem is you have this with a lot of other games too. Like, for example, if you got Destiny 2, right? You
Hmm.
go in there, you're playing Crucible or whatnot, and you get banned. Well, you have a specific account. I don't think they wouldn't be able to share that account with other people because like it's your guardian, your work, your character. They're not just gonna be
Would
like,
you have to sign in? Like you would have to make an account within the game?
that's what I'm thinking. And then like you just make an account in the game as if it was through Steam or something or some other platform.
Similar service.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I
maybe like they just if you stop paying or whatever for Stadia, then they just cut your connection, so your character's still there if you ever go back to play it, but you just
you
can't
don't have
access it.
access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe something like that. I don't really know.
I'd definitely be interested in looking at it because it's really good if there's just like if you just pull together like a collection of like games that you want to try out before you buy them. because
Yeah,
I think you get the first month free with Stadia, and I am not at all recommending this, but you could, in theory, yes, try Stadia for 1 month free. You could, in theory, if you just wanted to try a game or two out, you could just go in with a list, make an account, play those couple games you want to check out, and then deactivate your account before your month is over.
dude, you're gonna get Stadia. Stadia's gonna come after. Google's gonna come after us. Can't be saying those things, man.
I'm just saying that that is a flaw within. I am not recommending that any of our viewers go and do this.
Any
Um,
of our 11 viewers,
because this would, in fact, be a very dishonest way of using Stadia,
which we do
and
not support in
we
any
do not
way
condone abusing free trials.
ever. Definitely haven't done it before.
Never will.
Never in the future.
Anyone who does it, scum. But yeah, I definitely think that even if you do have a nice computer, eventually your parts will become out of date and there will be games that you can't run. And being able to stream it is definitely an interesting like medium because it you don't own the games. Like there was a big like fiasco of
that's
people like going
yeah.
to Steam and they're like, "Well, I don't like have a physical copy of the game. I don't own it. I'm just kind of paying for the right for Steam to give me access."
Mhm.
And this is, that to a whole nother level. It's I don't own it. I'm paying for temporary access to it. So I wonder how how much people will actually, buy into the idea of renting a game.
Well, and that's where I think it's Stadia has a different audience. It's not meant for hardcore gamers. It is not meant for people who are invested in games, who spend a lot of time playing video games, because those are the kind of people that they know what they like. They're gonna buy a game to own it. It's just it wouldn't be feasible to. I don't think for a hardcore gamer it would be
It would make
it,
sense.
it wouldn't make sense to just rent a game for so long and then get rid of it because a lot. I mean, personally, I go
You want
back
to
to
go back
playing
and
old
replay.
games. Yeah, I still go back and play some old games that I've completed. Um, but and I also have just a personal kind of weirdness when it comes to owning games. I like to just own my games and know that I own them. The thought of like renting them and like that my money is at their discretion or their my access is at their discretion. That I don't like that idea personally for me, which is why I was never got into GameFly, never got into whatever Liquid Force was, whatever the other one.
Dude,
Um,
I never got into GameFly because I didn't have money.
I that too. I was like 11 when that when
Like,
it came
you
out.
really think
But
I'm gonna go up to my mom and be like, "Yo,
all right, you're signing me up for GameFly, and you're gonna get me GTA 5. Uh,
get them to mail us GTA 5. Don't ask me what it is. That's not important."
um, but I think Stadia will be for either new people getting into gaming or people that are more casual gamers. They don't spend a whole lot of time. Um, they're not
On games.
on games and they're not willing to spend a lot of money on games either. They'd rather play a little bit of everything than buy a game, complete it, and then move on.
I think their biggest audience is going to be, you know, the boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, of people who do like to game.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot easier to convince someone to pay like $10 to stream something to play with you than to, pay the $60 for the game and then pay, Lord how much the computer to play the games is.
Yeah. Well, like actually, that's a good example because I have a friend who, they got their girlfriend into gaming, and I, th- she got lucky to where she actually enjoys it and she'll game with us, you know, but there are some people who can't just drop that money and they've got other things that they want to put their money into, and Stadia
Their
is
own hobbies.
yeah.
So I
Stadia is a
think
good balance.
it's gonna open the door for a lot of people to be able to just kind of dabble in gaming to see, do I like this? Is this something I want to put more effort into? And what I think is ironic enough is if someone really does like what Stadia offers, then they're probably going to go away from Stadia.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like a baby steps. Walking. You got to learn to crawl before you can walk. So you hop on Stadia, you play a couple of games, you're like, all right, now I'm a pro gamer. You go buy your PC, you go get your Razer keyboard, and your
Get your clanky keyboard.
Logitech mouse, and you're all set up to go. But I don't. Is Stadia even out yet? Like, has it actually
Yeah,
launched and released?
yep.
So people can like actually play this.
Yeah, you can go on their site right now and do that.
Interesting. Cause I don't know. I remember when like they announced it, it got a lot of hate and a lot of like
Yeah,
backlash.
I never really understood what the hate was over. Like that was never quite clear to me
Yeah, I thought it
why
was
people
something
hated
about
it.
like it was just not worth like it just wouldn't work half the time, and the internet connection, like you had to have super high internet bandwidth or whatever to actually play on it. Otherwise, it just is useless. Uh,
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case if you
Honestly,
need a really good internet because obviously you're streaming a whole game.
yeah. I'm also curious. How does I'm assuming not every game will be offered on mobile, but
I don't
some
know if they're
games
doing mobile,
are
to be
they?
honest.
Okay, maybe they're not. Don't quote me on it, but cause like
I don't know. They might not be. I can't honestly tell you.
I mean on their website it promotes uh it promotes like a TV playing. It shows Hitman on the TV, monitor, tablet, and phone.
So, according to Stadia Help, you can play Stadia on a compatible mobile device without a
Uh,
controller using the Touch Gamepad preview. To try it, launch a game when you don't have a controller connected, then tap Try Touchpad Game. Stadia controller buttons will appear on your device's touchscreen. Just press or tap them to play.
hmm,
So, it does seem like they have at least some sort of mobile option,
yeah.
which is,
Yes, here it is.
interesting.
Stadia streams your games directly to your desktop, laptop, compatible phone or tablet, or TV with Chromecast Ultra.
So, is
So,
this all through Google? Is that what I'm
yeah.
understanding?
Oh wow, they actually have like a full list of everything it's compatible for. Wow, that's
I
actually
don't think we have time for that.
it's a pretty it's a decent list though. It covers the basics. Except
Like Apple, iOS.
I actually don't see Apple on here.
Actually, that would make sense because I think Google is partnered with Android.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie, Google Pixel gang, rise up. Uh,
I prefer not to, you know, dissuade my audience and remain anonymous about my phone choices. But Android rise up.
same idea.
So,
Anyways,
anyways, moving on.
enough about the superior type of phone.
hmm
Uh,
And if you have any, disregards, throw them in the comment section. It's good for the algorithm. Uh,
Nokia gang, rise up.
oh God. You should
You
email
know
them.
what
Hey
I would be
Stadia, can
interested
can
in?
you can you play this on a Nokia? Is that possible? See what
What
the
would be
response is.
what
How
would
do you
be
think they would
interesting is
respond?
I think they would just be like no, because I think they would just have some
That's
like
true. They wouldn't
you
care.
know
They don't care.
man who's worked too many hours and not paid enough respond to you, and he's just not in the mood.
It ain't there.
I think that what would be interesting is do you think that they have access to a lot of tablets? Because then that opens up like people who have like an iPad or whatever with a keyboard. if those people can even start, playing big AAA titles like Call of Duty, Hitman, that kind of thing, that would really be like
That would
opening
be
for the
the most
genre.
uncomfortable thing ever. Can yeah, have you ever tried those like magnet tablet
Like
keyboards,
snap keyboards?
snap
No.
keyboards? They are the worst thing ever. They are so awful.
The only person that I know that actively uses one is my like let's see, he's 50 years old. 68-year-old grandfather um uses one on his iPad. And other than that, I know no one who uses them. Uh I was convinced they were a myth until I saw him use it. But
They're
I
a
I mean,
rarity.
I'm all in favor for like the more people that can try games, the more the better, I think. Because the more people you get into it, the more, companies are going to put into the games, and you're going to get more kinds of games, the more diverse the audience.
Yeah, it's been.
And I'm all for it.
I've had my fair share of favorite games dying out over the years, and
Fallout New
if
Vegas.
Paragon,
Oh, Paragon
Paladins,
was a good one.
dude, Paragon was so sick, but no one played it. No one played it, and they cut the cord.
Vicky 2.
Vicky too. What?
Victoria 2.
Ah,
It's
I
imagine if Hoy was more complicated,
lovely. That's what we need. That's really
and
what we
it's
need.
18th century economics.
Beautiful.
I know why no one plays it, but but yeah, I think that Stadia will open the door for a lot of people, and I really like that idea because I feel like that will, you know, let a lot more people in like find some sort of I don't know, because for me games are like kind of a comfort thing, right? You're feeling stressed out, play some Doom Eternal, smash some demon skulls in. And before Stadia, you couldn't really get that if you didn't have like a good computer because those blood particles, man, they're rough.
You're running that thing at 15 frames a second at like 420p. Ooh,
Dude, 10 FPS, give me that slideshow of blood.
you know we love us some slideshows.
But I really think that by making it more and more accessible, I think, you're gonna get more and more people doing things related to it.
Yeah, you always want to expand the audience as much as possible.
So, do you think, here's the real question. Do you think that $10 a month is a fair price for this?
I think it is. I mean, cause I would pay $10 a month. Actually, no, I'd pay $5 a month for Xbox Live. Um, and that's not even the games. Like that was just
That's just
to play
allowed to play
online.
multiplayer,
Yeah. So
which I have my own opinions about that.
yeah, I've steered away from that as of recently, but you know, as a kid, that was yeah, I thought that was reasonable. So $10 to stream and play the game, I think
Well,
that's
I mean, to put into perspective, Netflix, the most basic in US
it's like
dollars is 8.99.
8.99. It's $9.
Yeah. And for like $2 more, being able to access, I wouldn't say every game because obviously they're not going to be able to get every game, but a very large array of different games available for $10 is pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty worth it. It's if you're looking to get into it and not sure where to start.
I would definitely say it's at least worth a try.
Yeah, I mean $10.
We are
Like
not sponsored by Stadia. I just want to clear that up, though we would be willing to hear an offer.
better be big numbers. We're talking like at
Like
least
at
a
least
single
20.
figure.
At least
Okay, maybe two
A
figures.
figure. We're looking at a two-figure sponsorship deal. Maybe a Domino's pizza. Got one. Got one in the fridge right now.
Dude, no way. I could go for some pizza. I eat about a pizza a week.
And by the fridge, I mean it doesn't fit in the fridge, so just the coldest place in the room.
Just throw it outside.
Put it on the windowsill. Hope it doesn't fall.
That'll be fine.
I mean, it's like 39 degrees outside. That would work.
Oh yeah.
And I think with that, any closing thoughts on Stadia or any kind of gaming streaming service?
I don't know. Stadia. It's pretty all right. It's my
Yeah,
review.
I think it's worth checking out
We'll
if
put
you're
a
wanting
link
to get
down
into gaming.
below in the description if you're interested in looking at that.
I would definitely say, if you're trying to get into gaming and you don't know where to start, Stadia definitely seems like a good place to just kind of get your feet wet and see if you like it or not.
Yeah. Do we want to move on to another topic?
Uh, are we doing the two separate recordings or are we doing it as one thick one?
No, I mean we can do it as two separate recordings. Did we only want to talk about just Stadia? Because we're at
I mean, that was like what?
27 minutes right now.
I think that's about good.
Okay.
Because it's really only one thing. It's not like the new games coming out.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm running out of stuff to say about Stadia.
Me too.
I feel like we kind of repeated ourselves a couple times. All right, so I guess we'll just do closing statements then, and then I'll just cut from wherever we were to now.
Okay. Do you want to do the closing? Because I don't really know what to say.
You think I know what to say?
No, you do the openings good.
Oh, thank you. Um, that'll I guess that'll wrap up this episode of the ADHD podcast. Few things. We're gonna start moving to a two upload a week format. We figure an hour long is kind of a lot for people to digest. I know I personally have a hard time sitting and listening to two random people discuss randomness for an hour. So we're going to start breaking these down to about 30-minute segments and uploading twice a week. So let us know what you guys think about that. If you like it, if you don't like it, if you are completely indifferent to it, if you accidentally clicked on this, or if your autoplay is on and you're randomly listening to this, or you left your
If you're
computer
asleep,
on.
leave a
Yeah,
like.
yeah. But other than that, that should do it for episode 3 of the ADHD podcast.
Two.
What? It's episode
This is
3.
episode two.
No, this. Oh, wait. No, this is episode 2. Oh, no.
All right. Have a great day, all.